Let's learn how to manage wounds on multiple visits. Besides documenting the wound assessment, when managing wounds on subsequent visits, there are other actions that may be required. First, you can select Load Previous Documentation when inside the Wound Manager. You will need to provide new information to inform the wound score for that visit. If previous documentation has not been completed, it will not get loaded for the current visit. As wounds are added to the system, they're preloaded for the next visit. This is why it's extremely important to get documentation in on time and add all wounds and orders on the day of the visit. Completed wound documentation will flow to the wound flow sheet and wound history. Your back office team can see that via the patient chart. Select Deactivate Wound when the wound is no longer active. Select a reason for deactivation from the drop-down list. Once the wound is deactivated, it will flow to the wound history page and may be reactivated within 14 days. After 14 days, the wound will remain on the wound history page, but can no longer be reactivated. The wound orders will automatically get marked as discontinued and no further action is required. If there are no longer any active wounds, remember to resolve your intervention, need for wound management and goals in the plan of care profile. If there are several wounds and some do not require care to be performed on the current visit, select Care Not Performed and a reason from the drop-down list so that the QA assistant will validate the wound. Additionally, change wound orders may be selected when new wound orders have been entered into the wound orders profile. While in the wound tile, select Change Order to associate a new wound order to the current wound. Click Associate to associate the order, edit the treatment performed, and then save. Lastly, when the wound has deteriorated, you can select Change Wound Type. This will give you the ability to restage pressure injuries, ulcers, change the tissue type of non-pressure ulcers such as arterial, venous, and diabetic ulcers, and change closed surgical wounds to open surgical wounds.